Hey guys, welcome back to Top Tipper Betting Tips. I trust you're having a fantastic evening and you're getting ready for the race that's going to be taking place out at the Vaal. I'm going to have the postman tipping out at the Vaal, so here's a postman for his analysis.
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, no matter where in the world you guys are. And again, a big warm welcome to the Top Tipper family. Before we get into our selections for racing and the Vaal Classic, we were at Greyville this afternoon. Our baby Harley's Fate ran in the seventh race, ending up running fifth. Jockey report, maybe taken back to Scottsville and maybe a little better on the grass. So if Harley runs next time out to Scottsville on the grass, guys, have a look. Don't worry about the price. Maybe have a small each way touch. So just some feedback on our horse. As I said, racing comes to us on Thursday, 17th of August. We're at the Vaal Classic. Please take note, guys, there are only 7 races carded. So the first race will be the first leg of the PA and the Bipot. We've studied this year, we've gone through reruns, and at first glance, it does not look as if the exotics are going to pay bombs. However, I've said that before, and we've had carryovers. But let's go through the card together. First race to off at 12:30. This is a maiden plate for 3-year-old fillies. This is over 1,200 meters. Is the first leg of the PA and the Bipot, guys, so please take note of that. I've gone through this race. There's a first timer that, for me, sticks out like a sore thumb, and this is horse number 5, Storm Player. Craig Zaki gets a ride here for Tony Peter. Nicely drawn at 3. I like the breeding of this one. If there's support, guys, please include this in everything. In our bipots, I'm only going to go 2 horses. I'm going to go the 5 and the 1. But yeah, see if there's any support for this one. Very, very nicely bred. And we're going to watch her go down. If she goes down striding out and she doesn't look like she's got a tummy, maybe worth a small touch. Currently round about 4-1, so let's see what happens in the morning. For second, I've gone for the 1. This is Tamil Tigress. Samanga Kamala for Paul Matchett. We go and we look. Draw 6 out of 10. First time that Samanga is riding this one. 2 fair efforts. I mean, last time out, I think could have been a little outclassed. But again, of those that have run, this is definitely the horse to throw in. For third, we've gone for 3, Contra Viscum, Gavda winner for the Mike and Adam Azzi yard. Again, has had 4 fair efforts, good enough to run into the back end of trifectas and quartets. For fourth, I'm looking at the other first timer, the 10, Crimson Forest, Rachel Venica for the Matchett yard. Big negative, drawn wide. I think this may be running on when others have cried enough. I'm certainly hoping that the 1 and the 5 are good enough for us to get through the first leg of the bipot. Selections, as I said, 5, 1, 3, and 10. We'll move on to the second race on the card. You're off at 1,300 hours. A maiden plate for 3-year-olds over 1,200 meters. First leg of the Pick 6. I'll go through here, and very short price favourite at this stage. This is horse number 3, Babylon. Is my first selection. Gavin Arena for the Van Furen yard. Touched off last time out by Try Me, who let us down over the weekend. I'm not going to banker this. Smaller punters yet take a chance. I'm putting 2 horses in here. My second selection is the 2. This is Here With Me, Muzieni for Roy Magna. Muzi, I think, is giving the title a crack, coming back after a 10-week layoff. Was with the Fortune yard. I'm looking for a decent effort from this. I think reverting back to the 1,200 will suit this one down to the ground, and I'm including this one as well in our exotics. For third, I've thrown in horse number 8, Peak Predator, Craig Zaki for the Delarcus yard. This is nicely drawn at 1, is coming back from a rest. We go and look at the first time out, opened up very short at 92, did drift, so must have been showing something at home. Back end of trifectas and quartets. And for fourth, we've gone for the first timer. This is a 10 Sovereign Call, Stewie Pettigrew's yard. Calvin Habib gets the mount here, drawn wide, but again, nicely bred, son of Donna Platina. So the second race, we've gone 3, 2, 8, and 10. And all my exotics, we're putting 2 and 3. Third race on the card, due off at 13:35. Maiden plate for the girls, over 1600 meters. Take note, guys, that horses 3 and 4 have been scratched. This leaves us a field of 7. And I go through here, and I think the value bet on the card is this horse number 1, Village Green. I think 3-1 is great value. Is my first selection. Calvin Habib gets a ride for Stewie Pettigrew. Will come into a draw of 5. I think it was a decent effort last time out, over 1400 meters. I certainly think that the additional 200 will suit. And as I said, 3-1 I think is great value. My first selection. For second, I have thrown in horse number 9, and this is Crystal Maiden, Gavlarina for the Van Vuren yard. First time out was 4 lengths off them. This one should improve. And again, I think good enough to be there when the whips are cracking. Currently 33-10. For third, I've gone for horse 6, Courageous, JP van der Merwe for the Dawson yard. Some fair efforts. Doesn't look like it's going to Hollywood. But again, larger perms, please throw this one in, especially if you're taking pick 6 and jackpots. For fourth, I have gone for 5, Villa Samia Muzigeni for the Moffat yard. For me, the only thing I like there is the draw, back end of trifectas and quartets. If I'm taking a place accumulator, I'm going to banker the 1 Village Green. I'm going to banker that in the bipot as well. Pick 6s, I may throw in 1, 6, and 9. But I do fancy 1 quite a bit here. We'll move on to the fourth race on the card, off at 14:10. And this is a maiden plate for 3-year-olds over 1600 meters. And this year we find my best bet. Guys, take a couple doubles. Race 3 onto race 4. And this is horse number 7, Kudzu Gavlarina. Nicely drawn at 1 for the Van Vuren yard. I think currently second favorite. Really, really decent first run. Can certainly improve from that. There was a touch of support for this one on the day. I really think that this one will go very, 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 very close. And I think it's the best bet currently around about 28-10, 5-2. I think, yeah, I'm taking a couple doubles with this one. For second, I've gone for, I've gone for horse number 1. This is Purple Pitcher. This is the first run for the yard, Robin Klaassen. Big negative for me, drawn very wide, albeit in a small field. Have a look here, see if there's any support for it. This is currently around about 2-1. I do think that this is the natural inclusion if you take any exactors. For third, we've gone for horse number 2. This is Feel Alright. Wesley Marwing for Wyshong, again, back in the trifectas and quartets. And for fourth, we've thrown in the 5, Battle of Kursk. So race 4, we have gone 7, 1, 2, and 5. And for me, 7 looks the best bet on the card. Take a couple doubles, race 3 and race 4. Race 5, this is due off at 14:45, Pinnacle Stakes over 1800 meters. Take note, guys, at this stage in time, horses 3, 7, 8 have been withdrawn, leaving us with a small field of 6. Those 3 scratchings, all from Paulie Matchett's yard, that would make me believe that horse 1 is in the right space, and certainly must be included in all bets. However, my narrow first selection is horse number 2, Duke of Sussex. And this is simply because it is nicely drawn at 2. This horse loves the course, seems to grow another leg. Craig Zaki for the Huda Larkis yard. I do think this one go very, very close. Out of the profit earned top weight is giving this one 4.5 kilos. And again, is my first selection. For second, I have gone for Either Prophet. Must be included in everything. I think 1 and 2 will get us through all exotics. For third, Emerald Gina, that's horse number 9. And for fourth, Flashy Apache. This is horse 4. That's Jeff Seister for the Tyrone Zaki yard. So race 5, 2, 1, 9, and 4. And I do think that the 1 and the 2 will get us through. 6 race on the card, drop at 15.20, merit rate at 72 handicap, over 1450 meters. And this event again, I think, is a match race. Narrow first selection is horse number 2. He has a Tiger, Calvin Abeb for the Fani Broncos yard. Nicely drawn at 3. I do think that Calvin will suit this one down to the ground. Last time out, did win over 1,000 meters, coming back up to the 1450. I think if this one can jump, if it can just be there for nothing, will certainly give a decent account of itself. For second, I've gone for the 3. This is Dungeons, Muzieni for the Roy Magna yard. Nice effort last time out, finishing 3.5 lengths behind Royal Guide. I do think that reverting back to the 1450 will suit this one down to the ground. Must be included in all exotics. For third, I've gone for the 1, Rain or Shine, Gavdarina for the Robin Klaasen yard. If you guys are looking at taking additional doubles, maybe look at, as I said, I do fancy the 7 in the 4th race. Maybe take doubles 1 and 7, that's Purple Pitcher and Kudzu. Onto Dungeons if you fancy, not onto Dungeons. Onto Dungeons. If you fancy that, if you fancy the Rain or Shine, take some onto that as well. That is Gavin Arena for the Klaasen stable. Maybe they take a couple doubles themselves. So look at something like that, especially the 6th race. As I said, 2 and 3. I've thrown in 1 to run 3rd and 5 to run 4th. Larger players, 1, 2, and 3. Smaller players, I do think that 2 and 3 will get us through most bets. We move on to the lucky last race 7, due off at 15.55, mid rate at 88 handicap over 1450 meters. I've gone through this guy. This is giving me nightmares. 10 horses carded, put in as many as their budget will allow. If you're taking the jackpot 2, if you're taking pick 6s, even PA, if you can afford to put the field, do so. At least you know the PA you're going to treble up. Really tough race. In order of preference, narrow first selection for me is a 3 Scallywag. Dennis Suarez for the Tony Peter has won 3 on the trot. Not easy to win 4, but Dennis knows this one really well. I think the course will suit. I think this will jump, will be up there. Is there for nothing, drawn 1, and I really think that this one will give a hell of a good account of itself. Currently round about 72-4-1 is my narrow first selection. For second, I've gone for 2, Foster Nova, Gav Arena for the Van Furen yard. Big negative for me is the draw. Don't fancy this, drawn 8. Distance, a bit of a question mark for myself as well. Has had 1 run and ran down the chute, but with Gavin aboard, in this type of field, must be included. For third, we've gone for the 5, Barney's Pride, Muzieni for the Magna yard. Muzi jumps back aboard this one. I think it's been running to some decent sorts. Last time did have excuses. Jeff dropped the crop about 200 out. And again, should have finished a little closer. For fourth, we have gone for horse number 7. This is Johnny Dogs. Chase Majan for the Klaasen yard. Bad draw of 10. But I'm looking for a better effort from this one. Considering this is the second one after rest. But as I said, guys, please load up here. Put in as many as your budget would allow. We can argue and make a point for every one of the horses. Guys, as I said, 7 races carded. First race is the first leg of the PA and bipot. If you're taking PAs, go light early, load up at the end. My advice as well, if you're taking Jackpot 2 as well as Pick 6 go light, load up. I do fancy the value bet and the best bet. We're going to take a couple doubles with that and use them to take, if you like, any doubles or trebles. Guys, look after yourself. Please take care of yourselves. We will chat again. Stephen, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, the postman. I see you've tipped a 7-race program, your bar pot, your PA, your best bet, race 4, number 7, Kudzu, at 28 to 10, and your value bet, race 3, number 1, Village Green, at 2 to 1. So please, Lord, let them arrive and let the punters enjoy their racing. All in all, guys, enjoy, have fun, break a leg, and cheers for now.